Welcome to Talking Live. I'm Dr. Robi Ludwig here in Star Shop Studio in Times Square. We have a special guest. I am sure you have seen him on the Wendy Williams Show, on the Today Show. He's everywhere. Brian Balthazar. He is a TV commentator. He is editor of Pop Goes the Week. He also has a history of singing, which I'm going to find out about later. Yeah, I do my research. I'm researching you. And he's a very funny guy and a good friend. So without further ado, I will introduce you to the wonderful Brian Balthazar.
Hey,
thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. So we go way back
to
when you were senior producer of Hoda and Kathy Lee, the fourth hour of Today.
Yeah, that was like back in 2007 or 2008.
I remember one show we did together. It was with Joan Rivers, Melissa Rivers, and it was, I'll never forget it, Joan was talking about Melissa Rivers' dating choices.
Yeah, actually that was one of my, that was even before, I can't remember if it was before I did the fourth hour, but Joan put a profile on Match.com and didn't tell anyone.
Oh.
And that was the first time I actually put myself on air on the Today Show. I was the producer for the segment, and we decided to hook her up on dates, but she needed somebody during the interview to play off of, because so many times you see interviews on TV where it's just the talking head, you know, as we are often the talking head.
That's right.
And you don't see the person asking us the questions.
That's true.
But in this case, there seemed to be a need for that interaction, so I'm like, I'm going to shove myself in this interview.
Good
so
for
I
you.
did, and I got on the air, and it's funny because then later on when we did the first episode of the fourth hour with Kathy Lee and Hoda, it was the first episode. It was gonna be like, who are we going to put on? A lot of people really didn't know what the show was going to be and if they wanted to be on it, so we called Joan and she did it, and of course,
she was always a loyal friend to the show.
She was a really great person.
And just so funny.
And I went to her house for Thanksgiving and Passover.
Oh, did you really? Oh, you were really in, and you interviewed them too. Didn't you you did some kind of special for TV Guide?
I did something for AOL.
AOL, okay.
Yeah, so, and I will say, I wasn't like the only person there. She had a huge table that seated, I mean, it felt like it seated 40 people. It may very well have. And so actually someone canceled and she said, hey, do you want to come for Thanksgiving?
I'm sure you were first.
Oh, I called, no, someone really did cancel. And I called my parents and I'm like, I can't come for Thanksgiving. Because, I mean, it was a no-brainer, you know.
I mean, it was worth it, right? To be in her home.
Absolutely.
And she was always just such a gracious, funny host.
She was.
Everyone always wanted to be around her because she was the smartest person in the room and like the funniest person in the room.
She was. And she was actually quite sweet and very polite. She was
generous.
Very into manners. You know, if you went to her house for dinner, you wore a suit. You wore a suit, or at least a jacket and a tie.
Wow.
So she was very proper in her personal life, truthfully.
Yeah.
And of course, she was irreverent and all of those things that you know her to be, but really quite lovely. She also always asked me how my partner was doing, how my job was doing. She remembered people by name. She was one of those people, and I have a hard time remembering everyone by name, but she always
I do too, and that's really hard because especially when you're an on-air person, people remember your name because it's reinforced. You know, people see your name and you're out there like, but on the other side, it's much harder because...
But you know who else remembers everybody's name? Kathy Lee Gifford. She remembers
she's
everyone's
incredible.
name.
I love Kathy
From the person
Lee.
who opens her door in the morning to, you know, gets her clothes or her, you know, obviously she sees a lot of those people every day, but she remembered them after 2 days on the job. I was so impressed with her. And she remains a good friend as well.
And we can see you a lot on Hoda and Kathy Lee's fourth hour, and I love that fourth hour. That fourth hour can even stand alone.
Oh, it could
they
easily.
Are so
you could
genius.
air that any time of day. In fact, some states, some cities will air it again at like midnight, and I think it's kind of a fun show to watch at midnight.
You know, it's a feel-good show because you're watching two people who really like one another.
They really do,
and are good friends.
It's a party.
And
it's a party.
It is, and we don't have that today. That one feel-good place where people like each other and you can hear good news. And Kathy Lee is certainly true to who she is in terms of her spirituality.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I interviewed her for my book.
Which I mean, she is, and I will say that is legitimately who she is. She is very spiritual and very comfortable. I remember when I had first started working with her in 2007, I said, you must be so, and this stuck with me, I said, you must be so proud of all that you've accomplished. And she said, I don't think proud isn't the word, but grateful. And I was like, okay, And I was like, of course, that's the
Kathy
better way
Lee
of looking at
prays
it.
every day.
Yeah,
And when I spoke to her, she asked me if I had followed up on a couple of books she had recommended to me. I'm like, I'm working on it.
I know.
I'm working.
I'm behind on my magazine reading, so I have to catch up on a lot of books.
Now, was the Today Show the first time you were a national TV commentator?
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, to
Which is
start
a little
on
bit,
the Today Show.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I did do a couple of reports for MSNBC back in. Wow.
I think we have a picture of you with Kathy Lee right there.
Yeah.
I love that.
She is breaking a bottle over my head.
Wow, did that hurt?
Well, it was one of those stunt bottles. But so it's glass, it's sugar. But I had to say, it hurt more than I expected. But I mean, it was such a fun moment. And one of the great things about going on that show is I get to go back and it's like visiting family, as you know.
Yeah.
And they put me in these crazy situations. Like a couple weeks ago, they were throwing beach balls at me, and Hoda like threw one and unintentionally hit me like right in the beach balls. Like she literally hit me hard. And
Are you sure she wasn't aiming?
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
But I will say there's always some unexpected thing that seems to happen, and it's so much fun. And so I asked her to do this. And she was reluctant at first, but then she really embraced it.
But it looks like it was great fun. And we also can see you on Wendy Williams, who I also love because Wendy is very smart.
Yep.
And she's from New Jersey, so I'm from New Jersey. So we've done some work together. Now, when I'm on, I never get to do the funny stuff.
Well,
I'm never funny. I'm always talking about like floods and when like animals die or something like that. Emotions, depression, when people harm themselves or others, you know.
Yeah, that's a little harder. That's a little harder than what I do. I eat like insect sandwiches.
And we have you there, and you were on recently. Yeah. I forget what you were talking about. I know it was celebrities. You were talking about who?
I talk about celebrities and I talk about what's trending online.
Oh, what's trending?
So like if there's a cricket sandwich, a cricket taco, that's popular in Manhattan, I'll eat it on the show. Which I wouldn't normally eat any. I'm not really into the cricket scene. Like it's a thing right now. Crickets are high in protein.
It would have to taste like French fries.
Right, and it actually wasn't as bad as it's like that mental thing. In some cultures, it's completely, normal to eat.
But they did an interesting study, just sidebar, that part of what we like is based on what our mothers ate during the time we were in utero.
Really? My mom ate no crickets.
Right, exactly. So by the time that we come out into a culture, we're kind of familiar with certain foods already, and we have an affinity for certain foods.
It would make sense.
Doesn't that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother didn't like spicy foods, and so it's taken me. You can also learn to like foods.
You can learn to like, absolutely.
Which I don't know why. Why bother? But,
right, when you can have bagels and French fries is what I say.
Like anything.
Do you like my diet? It's a diet to get fatter. Come follow my diet.
So she's a lot of fun, and she says it like she means it, which is exactly.
And she has such common sense. She's very smart, very smart. And I love that she and her husband work together. I think that's great.
What I also think is so interesting about Wendy is there aren't many people who can carry a show by themselves for 20 minutes. And the first 20 minutes of her show, when she does Hot Topics, she calls the audience her co-hosts, and they are, and that they're reacting. But it's just her talking to camera, talking to the audience for all of that time. And certainly it would be difficult. But she comes from a background of radio, and she worked really hard to get where she is.
Larry King used to say, if you want to be good on television, have a background in radio, because you can't rely on the visuals in order to convey your message or your story.
Really descriptive.
But I do think Wendy is just naturally talented, but I'm sure all those years in radio has to have helped. So you talk about what's trending, but we thought today we would talk about not only what's trending, but before I segue into some of the celebrities, I want to mention Pop Goes the Week, which you are the editor and creator of Pop Goes the Week. And I was so happy to see that it's really expanded. You have people working for you now.
Yeah, sometimes. So it started out, how Pop Goes the Week started was actually, I was asked to be on a pilot of a talk show, and they wanted me to talk about pop culture and entertainment. And this was back in 2009. And then I was like, well, sure, of course I'm going to do it. Like, it was a no-brainer. But I'm like, how will they introduce me? Brian Balthazar from what? Brian Balthazar from his apartment? Like, Brian Balthazar from Brian Balthazar.
You can carry that off.
Thank you. I'll try.
How about just Brian Balthazar?
Yeah, well,
just Brian.
I might be able to do that now if I were, but back then, I created this website that was pop culture in a weekend. I wrote like 6 things, and because I knew I'd never read more than 6. It's like they didn't have that kind of time. So that I created the website to get on that show, and to make it look like I had more writing experience. And then I just kept going. So
see, that's so resourceful. And people who get into the business usually find creative ways.
Yeah.
But Brian is not only a wonderful talent and extraordinary
You're so good
at what
for
he
my
does.
ego.
No, it's
You're
really
so
true.
good for me.
But you're a good friend to people in the business, and that's what people may
Thank
not
you.
know behind the scenes. People love
I
you,
try
and you
to be.
show up for people. You're
try to
loyal.
be.
So when I had my jewelry line for like a millisecond on Shop NBC, you agreed to interview me
Yeah.
and show the pictures of my line.
well, that was such a great line and such a great story behind it. So that was easy.
It
That
was
easy.
it was nice. We had fun doing that, and now it's just you have great stories. So I really want everyone to go on Pop Goes the Week and follow Brian, and I'll have all the information on my website so that you can know where to find him in the future if you're not already following him. But you had a great story on there in terms of stories trending about a woman. Of course, I'm going to make it jewelry.
Okay.
You know which story I'm
Yeah.
talking about. She wore the same necklace every day. Her husband made it for her, and then you can take us in, and it's
So
on the website.
It was given to her on an anniversary, and then for a year she wore it every day, and it was like a round shaped, almost like it looked like a gourd, like it was artsy. It's not for everybody.
It was artsy to say the least.
Yeah, and so a year
Not
passes.
fancy.
No, not fancy at all. Kind
No.
of or very organic looking. And so they go on this vacation a year later, and he asked her to take it off, and he like smashes it on a rock or something, and inside was the engagement ring. So he had planned on marrying her a year ago,
How
and now
nice.
she's been wearing her engagement ring for a year. And of course, who's going to say no to that? That's
Right.
That's
I
as
mean,
romantic as it gets.
that is so romantic.
Yeah.
Unless you lose the necklace.
Right.
And
Well,
she
that's the
said,
thing.
like, what if I lost the necklace?
Right. Yeah, because it doesn't look like it had much value other than
Right.
sentimental value, and inside was a diamond.
Or
so
what if
that's
she never wore the necklace?
Right, that would have been bad.
Because she didn't
That's
like
how
the
you
necklace.
know it's not meant to be.
Right. I guess you know it was meant to be. But I love the stories. How do you find your stories?
Well, truthfully, I'm gravitating more towards things that are going viral now because
Okay.
the truth is, as time passes, if you want your I love to talk about entertainment on television. But if somebody wants to know the latest on Taylor Swift, which there's a great story about Taylor Swift.
And we are going to
today.
get, we have a picture. There's
Yeah.
Pop Goes the
Yeah.
Week. Oh, wait, no, go
yeah.
back to
Okay.
CBS.
Yeah,
Wait.
okay, yeah, I was on the talk.
Oh, the
recently.
talk. We got the talk. That's right. I forgot to mention the talk.
yeah,
Did
I
you
think-
like the ladies?
Oh yeah, but it was so fast. The funny thing is, like,
Oh.
people that I know on Facebook or Twitter will say, "What were they like?" And I'm like, "Oh, I talked to them like
Yeah.
we get like a minute or two before the commercial break."
They do look fun, though.
Oh, they are totally fun.
Yeah.
They were all so lovely and gracious. But it's interesting because it's the first you meet them is during the commercial break before the show,
Wow.
before your segment. I didn't have a because they're getting ready and learning all they have so much to learn before the show.
It's
So
hard- it's
I had
harder
like
than
a
it
minute and a
looks,
half
really.
to and what do you say to 5 people in a minute and a half? I'm just kind of like I lay low and hope that the segment goes well and see if I get invited back because it takes a while to kind of build
And
that
the clip is
relationship.
on Pop Goes the Week, by the way, and you look so comfortable.
Well, sometimes that's faking it. You just have to act natural.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite? Did you have a favorite?
You know what? I didn't. Well, I will say, Sharon Osbourne was completely lovely.
Huge fan of
The
hers.
truth is, they were all lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just seated next to her and Sarah Gilbert, so I had the
Yeah.
chance to have a conversation with Sharon because I've had meetings with her son in another capacity, so I at least had something to tell her about. Oh, I met your son, and he's great, and he's a television producer as well.
Oh,
so,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
He's behind the scenes.
He does on and off camera.
Ah.
So, but that was just fun to go because in New York, as you do all the New York shows,
Yeah.
it's just a different experience than going to LA. That was the set that was once the set for Rhoda, the same studio, I should say.
Wow!
If I've been informed correctly. But all of those buildings have so much more history.
They do.
And so, like the Today Show set has been the Today Show set, and before that, it was a bank.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, which I love going to the Today Show. Don't get me wrong, but when you go to Hollywood, they take you in there all these bungalows, and you really feel like you're in Hollywood, and it's such
true.
an interesting, thrilling.
And it's all about celebrities there. It's very celebrity
yeah.
driven.
And,
And it's fun to get away.
The eyes of a 10-year-old. I'll always be my 10-year-old self when I go in there like, oh my gosh, I'm in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they get you a car and it's amazing.
I know.
And I do love a car. I mean,
It is, I
who's
know.
gonna not like a car coming
Right?
with
It's
you?
fun to be driven.
Yeah.
So we also had one of the two of us when we did something at CBS. Let's see.
This picture is, okay, wait, here we go.
Here we
First of
go.
all, what doesn't come across in this picture is just how bad of a bleach job my hair had.
No, it did not.
No,
I thought you looked
it did.
You
It
looked
was
handsome.
epically bad. This is a period. I had I would call it a dark period if it were. My hair was so. I had a yellow period because I thought, I was going on some special. I'm like, oh, I'll just cut my hair lightened, and it was an epic fail.
Oh.
And it took a long time to get it fixed. And then purple. I'm wearing purple.
I don't know.
You never wear your glasses either.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, I remember.
You look great. You haven't changed a bit, and look at.
But we loved doing that segment together.
Fun.
That was fun. So let's talk about the celebrities that you mentioned to me, because we decided we would just pick the celebrities last minute, just see what was going on, and you approached me about Taylor Swift.
Has a great story. Okay, so this is the story that's going viral today. Is that a photo service? Because there's like Getty and there's Splash and there's all these photo image services.
Is TMZ too or no?
Well, they reported on the story.
Okay.
But this is was reported by the photographer as Taylor Swift being snuck out of her house in the suitcase. They're saying that she is in the suitcase and that there were 2 or 3 SUVs and 12 security guards rushing her out. Now, of course, I find it really... I feel like there's got to be a better way to go.
Could they lie, though? Could this be a faux story?
Well, they say suspected. But
okay.
There's also... The reason the internet is exploding, too, is because Taylor has notoriously had a epic July 4th celebration every year for the past few years.
And she's a lot of bestie girls, right?
She didn't do it this year, and she's been very quiet on social media. So literally, it's going all over the place that Taylor Swift is in a suitcase being hustled out. I just have to think there's a better way.
It looks like a coffin to me.
Well,
Look at that.
Yeah, it does. It's a big crate. She's 5'10". I think it's unlikely.
I don't know.
But anyway, I feel like if you really wanted to be discreetly hustled out, one, you could wear a wig and literally surround yourself with 12 people. I don't think that's that hard,
I know. Do you think she wanted to call attention to herself, or do you think
I don't
that's
know
celebrity
this is the way
weirdness?
to do it. I don't know. It could have been a very valuable piece of, I don't know. But I just
Could
love that this is how the internet works.
Could you ever imagine getting to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go out in a suitcase today because I don't want all the attention.
Right. Well, I would just buy a place. She has all the money in the world where you have a back door.
Right.
Right. Like somewhere where you can pull up. But no, I can't imagine. But I just think it's funny that this is the way the internet works today.
Yeah.
Which is why, I'll post about some of these things, but literally this will be in 50 places.
Yeah.
And I just love
now, why do you think a story like this goes viral?
Well, because it's an alleged woman in a suitcase.
Right.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah. Now,
also, she's like the most...
who starts the story?
Well, it's funny because when it's a celebrity, it just takes one outlet to pick it up. And so this was the photo service that took this picture, captioned it this way. It may have been captioned in error, or they may have thought, oh, well, we're just going to be cheeky.
Yeah.
And I guess, some places, if you say allegedly or suspected of, they feel like they can say anything because they feel like that's their blanket.
It is blanket.
It's your protection word.
It is a protective word.
Sources say, that's why all the tabloids that don't name names say a source says. Well,
right.
A source could be wrong. A source could be lying.
Right.
Or a source could be the person sitting across from you in the office. Right. What is Robbie? Do you think it was her in the suitcase? Right. I think it is. A source says
I would be carrying the suitcase. I would not. Yeah. Well, she's a thin person, so she might not feel. I would feel very guilty.
Well, there's a funny picture. So then Twitter, the Twitterverse reacts, and there's this one. Now I'm blanking on his name. Tom Hiddleston is the guy that dated her. And there's a picture of him at the airport with a suitcase. And they're like, here's a picture of Tom and Taylor back when they were together. And it's like the picture of him with a suitcase. I hope I got the name right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
oh, my
people
God.
are so funny. I think that's the thing that the internet has shown just how funny, everyday people are. Everyday people are hilarious.
Yeah.
They really are.
And I do like that.
I'm not saying we're not everyday people. I mean, the non-Taylor Swifts of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just feel like it's funny.
And it's a very democratic process so that anyone can go viral, I imagine. You know, it doesn't have to be a celebrity, although...
It's true, the woman with the wedding ring. It's the great mystery. Part of the fun of something going viral is the great mystery of it. How did this happen?
Can we predict it? I think
there's some common factors. One is something that elicits a reaction. So when most of us are looking at our TV or our computer screen, we're looking like this. Click, click, click. Right. But if something makes us laugh, makes us cry, makes us mad, makes us feel something, that's usually one of the boxes that makes it, so this is probably makes us, celebrity is a whole other thing. But if it's a regular video.
Well, this reminds me of a kind of Michael Jackson bizarre moment, even though she's not anywhere near.
Check on her makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Or makes you suspicious.
Or makes you curious.
Yeah. And then the other, so they're usually, it does have to elicit some sort of emotional response from a person. And then ultimately, it's just like, there's an old commercial for, I think it was Wella Balsam shampoo or conditioner, and it was like, and then I told two friends, and they told two friends, and they told two friends.
Yeah.
But I've had videos of my own and other people's that I've posted, and it's amazing to watch how they take on a life of their own.
And you can't predict it.
You
sometimes
can't.
it's a good thing, sometimes not so good.
Yeah.
It depends. Aaron Carter, we have a mugshot picture of him.
This is a sad story in celebrity.
Oh, God,
he I have to say,
bad.
Some of you may know Aaron Carter as what was once a child star musician.
Right. Yeah.
He has now, that is 29 years old, a 29-year-old man. He was arrested for suspicion of drunken driving, and then arrested for possession of less than an ounce of marijuana and drug paraphernalia in the car. He was in Georgia, and his brother, Nick Carter, who's from the Backstreet Boys, who's only, I think he's 34, not much older, but looks probably 10 years younger than this. I mean, put out a tweet saying, hey, if you need help, we're here for you. He then retaliated saying, don't use my, arrest for your PR, but then Nick was like, I don't have your phone number, you changed it again. So
oh my gosh,
so
wow,
there's that Twitter battle going on,
yeah.
and then the fact that, the truth is this is not a man who's doing well.
No.
And so he's trying to, he was on his way to a concert that night, he couldn't go, obviously, because of this, and he's certainly got his struggles, but this is, which I'm sure you've talked about a lot, is when you go from being a huge star as a child, which it's hard enough on the psychology of a person when you're an adult who becomes wildly famous.
Yes.
But when you're a child who suddenly thinks you're invincible, that you can do no wrong, you're surrounded by people who tell you you're amazing, and then suddenly the buying public says, we're not that into you anymore.
The kids don't have the maturity to know that it's a business.
Right.
And that they're being used in a way. And
that they're a product.
That they're a product. And if it happens when you're young enough, it happens when you're grandiose and you haven't been humbled yet.
Yeah.
So when you're older, you realize sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. And if you have nothing to look forward to, or you get exposed to drugs too early, I just want to say this is what drugs makes you look like. So it's not a good look. Now, I also heard that Aaron and Nick's father recently died. Did you hear that as well?
Yes, but I don't have a lot of facts on that, but there's been a lot going on in that family.
So it's possible that this could be a reaction to a death, who knows?
It's any number of things, but the truth is just a week ago, he was commenting on another story, and he said, well, you won't, he literally said last week, you won't see me getting any DUIs, and then a week later,
well, maybe it was a warning. Yeah. The public Twitter wars, what do you think about them? Do you think they're effective?
I don't think they're effective, truthfully. I think that they are again, an act of eliciting a response. You're arguing in a public forum, and often it's really is it really for the benefit of the other person, or is it for the benefit of the following?
Right.
In the case of Nick trying to reach out to his brother, and he can't reach out to him in any other way, I can see how that might be.
I kind of like it. I did not know that piece of the story, that he didn't have his phone number. So I think under the circumstances, anytime a family member wants to reach out for help, we have a segment called Keeping It Real.
Uh-oh.
So we ask some questions. Because I'm a shrink at the end of the day, and I need to get to the bottom of things. Okay,
let's hear it.
What celebrity would you rate as a perfect 10?
Oh, I have to say Oprah.
Wow, Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not using, I think, well, one, I do think she's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I also just love her point of view. I love her point of view.
Yeah.
So as far as if we're talking sexy wexy, I don't know. Sexy wexy, is that a term?
Yeah, sure. It is now.
I don't know. It changes day to day.
Okay.
I find lots of different things. But I just think Oprah has really just what she's managed to do and her point of view. And I do think she's gorgeous. I just love to look at her and hear her talk. So 10, Oprah, please. Okay,
Oprah, you're a 10 according to Brian. Just remember he said that. What was one of your most defining moments in life?
Oh, woo. Okay, let's see. Well, this was, I remember truthfully that my dad once said to me, in sympathy, he thought that I was living in Boston, we were driving down the street, and he said, look at all these houses, they're so expensive. I mean, Brian, you'll never own a house.
Huh?
And it's the first thing that's coming to mind, but I have to say, and I remember thinking, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And I do think some of what I've done in my life has been somewhat of one, it is ultimately about what I want.
Yeah.
But I have not let people who have and I don't think he intended to discourage me.
No.
He felt bad. He's like, and in Boston, the houses were like $2 million or even then. So he was like, he felt bad for me, but I was like, I just took that so deeply.
Yeah.
Which one, the lesson is, wow, words have power.
Yes.
And two, like, I'm not going to let that, I'm going to use that to motivate me. And I think a lot of people do use things like that to motivate them.
I think so too. Yeah. And it's great if you can motivate it to better your life.
And I have two now, so that's good.
So there you go. Yeah. What does your dad say now?
They're not expensive houses, but they're mine, so that's good.
That's right. And your dad must be proud.
He is.
Yeah. How would you?
I did remind him though.
Yes.
I did remind him that I said it.
You probably forgot, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally. He didn't remember. It was like a casual remark to him. Okay.
How would your friends describe you?
Oh, gosh. I think they would describe me as a goofball in a positive way, as a nice person. I think largely the things that I've been able to achieve, and there's still so much that I want to achieve now, but I still think it's been hard work and being nice.
Yeah, it's a powerful combination that sometimes
it really
people
is.
forget.
And so, and then also that I'm. A lot of people who don't know me that well think I'd be the life of the party, but I'm the life of the dinner party. If it's a big party, I sneak out. I can't.
Interesting.
I'm not socially awkward, but I'm like kind of bordering on socially awkward. But like, I'll do the Irish exit where you just kind of quietly leave, and I'm talking like 15 minutes in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not great in big parties because when I can't hear a word anybody's saying.
Yeah, I don't like
the music
overly
is
big
loud.
parties.
So I'm not like somebody's like, oh, I have this thing. It's like at 10 o'clock. I'm like 10 o'clock. I will be home. Not only will I not show up at 10 o'clock, I will be home by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I will have a melatonin by 10:30. So,
just FYI, I know melatonin. There's some bad stuff there, and I love melatonin. Anyway, I hear
really?
you.
I'm sorry.
I'm all about melatonin.
I don't have a lot of vices.
No,
Give me
too.
that.
No, I hear you.
Really?
I'm all
It's bad?
about.
I mean,
well, I'm sad. I'm sad that I heard the latest news because I take melatonin too. Like I'm your melatonin buddy. I hear you.
Melatonin and soda are two things I just can't give up right now.
Okay, now the final and last question.
Okay. I'm going to tie my shoe while you
tie
ask me.
your
I'm not
shoe.
even walking, but I feel uncomfortable.
Who would play you in a movie?
You know what? I don't want to face the harsh realities of that because it's not going to be who I want it. It's not going to be who I want it to be.
Who do you want it to be?
It's going to be some like lanky, awkward, like skinny, or like not, or flabby. I don't know. Like it's not going to be that person. First of all, whenever somebody says, you know who you look like, stop them because it's never going to be. It's never going to be like, no one's ever going to say, Brad Pitt, Brian, you look like. Although one time a drunk person on the subway said that, and I'm like, you know when you're like on the subway and there's someone who's a little aggressive and making you uncomfortable? He's like, you look like somebody. And I'm like, who? Oh, this is not going to be good. He's like, Brad Pitt. Now, clearly now I'm like,
did you love him?
He's not just drunk, he's high. And I was like, okay, let's give him a shot.
Were you like, I'd like to buy you some beer?
Let's be not so quick to judge this guy. He's
he's very nice,
but,
and he has good taste.
I think he passed out shortly thereafter.
So Brad Pitt, maybe?
No. I mean that would be silly. But I think I'd be more like I don't really know. I'd just like somebody kind of like an unknown. I have an oddly shaped head. I have an oddly shaped head, so I'm not going to be. Yeah, well, they'd be too young. But like I have a rather strangely shaped head and profile.
How about Mark Harmon? He's too old. He's too old.
How about Orville Redenbacher, Brian? Is there anybody that's older than no?
I meant like a younger during his young days.
A young Orville Redenbacher. No. That's who's going to play. Thank you.
And please go see Pop Goes the Weed. Come on my Facebook page.
Oh,
see
and
where
would you
you
follow
can
me
find
on Twitter and Instagram,
Brian, yes.
please?
Brian Balthazar, and we will put up your handles so they can find you.
It's all Brian Balthazar everywhere. Nobody else has that name.
Yeah,
so it's perfect.
And one day it's going to be just Brian. But until then, Brian Balthazar, and we will see you on Wendy and the Today Show, and hopefully here again.
I hope so.
And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week on Talking Live.